This obnoxious bottle of literal bullshit is being pumped down everyone's throats. Prime! Prime! Drink Prime! I can't get enough Prime! Drink Prime! Ugh. Primes are being scalped and sold like they're concert tickets or Beanie Babies. Kids are spending, I don't know, $10, $20, $30, $100 a bottle for this absolute cancer. If you're above the age of 16 and you drink Prime unironically, you need to reevaluate your life. Because daddy is about to take you to school. The science behind electrolytes and hydration drinks, right? Hydration, Prime hydration, should be rather simple. Which is why it's so baffling to me that Logan Paul and KSI would promote this product without doing their due diligence. Who am I kidding? They're scammers at heart. But especially Logan, considering he's a professional wrestler and makes a living off of his athletic performance. When we work out, our body has this really cool mechanism called sweating, which is designed to cool our body temperature. Now, sweat looks like water, except it's a little bit more than that. Sweat contains these little things that are essentially salts or electrically charged molecules that are responsible for almost every function in the human body. When we sweat, we're losing sodium, chloride, and potassium, along with other small amounts of electrolytes. Sodium is necessary for blood pressure regulation, nerve signaling, and muscle contraction. Similar to sodium, potassium is also used in muscle contraction and nerve signaling. However, it also plays a role in heart function and blood pH. Now, if you're just a regular person and you don't really exhibit any strenuous activity and you don't sweat that much, you've probably been told to just drink water to rehydrate yourself. However, if you're not a regular person and you do work out in any capacity, that is actually garbage advice. So when we talk about hydration when it comes to athletic performance or general homeostasis, we're not talking about drinking more water, we're talking about replacing the electrolytes, sodium mainly, that we just lost. Here's a fun fact of the day for you. The Blue Prime has 10 milligrams of sodium, which is absolutely laughable when we're talking about replacing sodium that we just lost or rehydration. On the contrary, Prime has 700 milligrams of potassium. Whenever Logan discusses the total electrolytes in Prime when making comparisons against other products, he makes the grave mistake, which is intellectually dishonest, of not stratifying the importance of different electrolytes. Is potassium important and necessary for optimal performance? Of course, but 700 milligrams in a beverage is absolutely astronomical. And here's another one for you. When you're clinically dehydrated, the doctor is not giving you a fucking banana or a potato to rehydrate you. They're giving you an IV saline solution. So if we know that our bodies are always trying to maintain the perfect electrolyte balance in our blood, there's a few things that can happen when this is thrown out of whack. When it comes to sodium, there's two things that can happen. Hypernatremia, when there's too much salt in your blood, or hyponatremia, when there's not enough salt in your blood. When it comes to potassium, it's the same thing. Hyperkalemia, too much potassium. Hypokalemia, not enough potassium. Here's a little anecdote for you. Every year, I like to run a half marathon because I'm sadistic. I'm a bigger person. At the time, I was probably like 220 pounds, 6'3", 6'4", so carrying around that mass for 13 miles is kinda taxing. In any endurance running program, you're gonna have to do long runs, and near the end of your training block, you're up to about 9, 10, maybe 11 miles before you actually run the full 13. It's the same thing with a marathon, you just scale up the numbers. So I had a 10-miler to do, and I was not paying attention to my electrolyte levels. So by mile 8, I think I ran through all my glycogen stores. Basically, there was no carbs left in my body, and my legs began to feel like lead. At the same time, I was sweating a lot and just drinking water, which was probably the dumbest thing I've ever done. What I was essentially doing was flushing out any remaining salt in my body because I was just giving myself more water. Mile 9 to 10 felt like the longest mile I've ever run in my life, and I felt really sick after my workout. In fact, I was woozy, nauseous, I couldn't think straight, and I felt like I needed to go to the hospital, Little did I know, I was going hyponatremic. There was no salt left in my body. This is a potentially life-threatening thing that can happen to high-level endurance athletes, or anyone that is not paying attention to their sodium intake. When you're pushing a hydration product with little to no sodium in it, that is a scam. It's brutal out here. Scams are everywhere, and it's important to stay safe, which is why today's video is sponsored by Guardio. Guardio is a browser extension and mobile app that provides real-time protection against numerous threats, such as phishing attempts, sophisticated malware, fake websites, hijackers, malicious emails, and even identity theft. The most important thing when it comes to the internet is keeping your information secure. With Guardio, you have first-line defense and alerts, so that you know if your personal information is leaked anywhere on the internet. You can even start with their free security scan that takes just under 30 seconds. Guardio has a ton of security features that keep you safe, from phishing attempts, harmful websites, and even blocks those annoying pop-ups. A lot of people think that having two-factor authentication keeps their social accounts safe. But if a hacker gets onto your computer, they will be able to bypass any security measures that you have. This can happen when malware reaches you from Google Ads, Facebook, and even YouTube. Guardio detects threats before they reach your browser, unlike traditional solutions that only remove threats once they're already on your device. You can scan your browser for threats for free by going to guard.io/Philion and installing the extension. You'll get a 7-day free trial to access their premium features, such as real-time threat removal. If you want a clean and secure browsing experience, go to guard.io/Philion so that you can receive 20% off when you sign up to their monthly plan. And thank you to Guardio for sponsoring this video. So let's take a look at some videos where Logan compares Prime to other market competitors.
Alright, we're going bottle for bottle. Blue Prime versus Blue Gatorade. These are all facts. Let's start with sugar. Gatorade has 36 grams of sugar in it as opposed to Prime's 2 grams. That is a lot of sugar compared to not a lot of sugar.
Here's a brain buster for you. The reason why Prime only has 2 grams of sugar versus Gatorade's 36 is because Prime doesn't actually have sugar in it. It has sucralose, an artificial sweetener, which in my opinion is worse. Gatorade and other hydration beverages, actual hydration beverages, have sugar, or at least should have sugar, because glucose facilitates the absorption of electrolytes. When you drink Gatorade, it has sugar, salt, and potassium. What happens is the liquid goes into your mouth, down your stomach, into your small intestines, and then has to get into your blood. Glucose makes that process a lot faster. So Logan, little did he know, just shot himself in the foot scientifically because there's no actual glucose in Prime.
Gatorade has 140 calories. Look at that. Prime only has 25.
Prime has 25 calories because there's nothing in it. The reason Gatorade has calories is because Gatorade has sugar, and sugar is a carbohydrate, and carbohydrates are macronutrients that contain 4 calories per gram. So the calories from Gatorade are not coming from the protein, they're not coming from the fats, they're coming from the carbs. Second of all, you want carbohydrates in the form of sugars to replenish glycogen storage. So no, when I'm dehydrated, I don't want to reach for this bullshit. Give me a Gatorade every time.
They're both electrolyte drinks. Gatorade has 350 milligrams of electrolytes and a bigger bottle, yet Prime doubles it with 825 milligrams of electrolytes.
This is funny because I have the Gatorade right here. 140 calories, 270 milligrams of sodium.
Honestly, there's no comparison.
Yeah, there's no comparison because Gatorade wipes the floor with Prime. If we go off his logic, Gatorade has 27 times the amount of sodium, which is so much better for rehydration, it's not even funny. As if total electrolytes means anything. What matters is the ratios of sodium versus potassium, and Prime is all fucked up. It's got it reversed. That has 33 million views, by the way.
All right, we're going 1 for 1. The new Prime Hydration Sticks versus Liquid IV. Liquid IV, 45 calories. Prime Stick, 25.
First of all, a 20-calorie difference doesn't matter, and if you think it does, it's because you're a pussy. Second of all, it has more calories because it has actual sugar in it versus your artificial bullshit.
Liquid IV with 11 grams of sugar compared to Prime's 2 grams. Liquid IV has 870 milligrams of electrolytes, and the Prime stick has 871 milligrams of electrolytes. And that was intentional, so we could literally one-up them.
That's a good one, Logan! There he goes again, lumping all electrolytes as if they're the same thing. Meanwhile, 90% of his formula is potassium. Make it make sense! I'm not even sponsored by Liquid IV. Trust me, I wish I was. It tastes amazing. Probably because it uses actual ingredients and it's designed for actual athletes, not 12-year-old parasocial children.
And now for the taste test. Liquid IV it's not bad, but it is a little salty. But Prime is delicious. I'm not kidding, this is so good.
And it tastes salty because it has 500 milligrams of sodium, an appropriate amount of sodium required to rehydrate someone who just lost a shit ton of sodium while working out.
And we have coconut water and BCAAs. Liquid IV does not. Oops. To summarize, it's everything you love about the bottled Prime in a convenient stick pack you can take anywhere.
Oh, Logan. Prime is high in potassium because coconut water has a lot of potassium in it. BCAAs, or branched chain amino acids, are literal snake oil. If you have any complete protein in your diet, you eat chicken, you eat steak, you eat rice and beans, you're hitting all of your branched chain amino acid needs because they're the building blocks of protein. You don't need them in a beverage. It is marketing tactics 101. Congratulations if you're new to the fitness industry, you've just been sold bullshit. More bullshit. All right, let me do an actual taste test. We got Prime versus Gatorade. Off the bat, it zaps your tongue because it's extremely sweet tasting. Remember, it's not actually sweet because there's no sugar in it. We're using sucralose, an artificial sweetener. To be honest, it's not horrible. But you know when you eat a protein bar or any like protein-packed product that is artificially sweetened, it tastes like you just performed cunnilingus on a lithium-ion battery? That's what I'm getting right now. All right, now it's time to try the Chad Blue Gatorade. I mean, there's no comparison. What do you mean, bro? And I'm getting better performance from this, you're bugging. So the thing with Prime is, since it's pumped by influencer and social media marketing, they're doing a ton of sales. They're growing faster than anyone can even keep up with, right? They've quite literally disrupted the market space. So everyone and their mother, you know, their competition like Gatorade and other sports beverage rehydration products are coming out with their own electrolyte beverages. So we got Gatorlyte. I'm gonna try this right now. How much sodium does this have? This has 490 milligrams of sodium, an appropriate amount similar to Liquid IV. That's what I'm looking for when I want rehydration. For the sake of this, let's do a little taste test. That's good. I'm taking that over Prime every single time. This has a ton of sodium in it, an appropriate amount. In my opinion, there's a couple products you're going to want to look for if you're serious about keeping your electrolytes in check or you're doing any sort of strenuous physical activity. For the past 9 months, I've been boxing, and it's extremely sweaty. I've tried a bunch of them. I've also got Noons, which are really popular among runners and other endurance athletes, and these are 300 milligrams of sodium per tablet, and it recommends you can have up to 3 per day, so that's 900. Other products like Element, which I've never had, have a gram of sodium, aka 1,000 milligrams. Pedialyte. That also has over 1 gram of sodium and an appropriate amount of potassium. The problem with Prime is you don't lose potassium faster than you lose sodium when you sweat. Another popular option are Goos. These have 55 milligrams of sodium, which is on the lower side, a little bit of caffeine, and depending on which flavor you get, they have different formulations, but these are carb heavy. There's 100 calories per packet, and runners over a long distance period, if you're conditioned, you're not going to sweat as much, which is why you want more carbs to replenish glycogen. So depending on your sport, each formulation can have its benefit. Prime fits nowhere in these formulas. This doesn't have a place in athletic performance. Then you got other products like Cliff Blocks, you got Honey Stingers. I mean, I'm the god of rehydration at this point.
One of our viewers asked if Prime drinks are bad for you. Okay. Let's find out. Okay. All right. These are the Prime rehydration. We've done energy videos before. Prime rehydration has a little bit of electrolyte in it.
Got a little bit of electrolyte in it. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit of electrolyte in it.
It's only got about 2 grams of sugar. Actually tastes pretty good. Not bad. And it's really meant for if you're exercising, training heavily.
No, it's not. Who paid these guys? You know it's bad when a 25-year-old Giga Chad has more scientific medical fitness knowledge when it comes to rehydration than actual medical doctors. Give me a break, bro.
So the average person, unless they're doing severe activity for a long period of time, actually just needs water. So you're not an ultra marathoner, you're not in a triathlon.
What is this astroturfed psyop I'm watching? I guess these people just don't actually work out because I am literally breaking down my body like a machine multiple times a week, sweating profusely, trying to get to the next level.
Are they dangerous though? This one actually has a very low amount of sugar, 2 grams of sugars. Has some vitamins, vitamin A, D, B12, B6.
Yeah, it's got some vitamins. Do you guys eat food? Why are you supplementing vitamins in a Prime?
But doesn't have any caffeine or any gluten. It's actually gluten-free as well.
It's gluten-free. Did you hear that, guys? That's what I'm looking for when I want to stay rehydrated. Does it have gluten in it?
So the short answer is it's probably not dangerous for you, but you probably don't need it.
Yeah, talking with the docs, baby. Woo!
Boom, boom, boom. 17 million across all platforms. So we got an extra 100 million views for free because we were able to capitalize on the joke. Drink Prime.
This is all Logan Paul and KSI care about. Promotion. They want to sell as many bottles as humanly possible so that they can be valued at a high number and then acquired by another beverage conglomerate like Coca-Cola or Pepsi. All the investors will make out with millions, maybe even billions during the acquisition. That, I can guarantee you, is their end goal. They do not give a flying about what is actually in this bottle. So Prime has a couple products. They have Prime Hydration in the form of a ready-to-drink beverage. They have the sticks, similar to Liquid IV. And then they also have energy drinks, right? They're tapping into all different markets. Let's see what they have to say about the energy drinks.
About to work out with my Prime Energy, which has caffeine. This product contains caffeine, and it is called Prime Energy. This is Prime Hydration. It hydrates you with vitamins, electrolytes, and coconut water. It's in a bottle and does not contain caffeine.
The absolute upper echelon of energy drinks are going to have 200 milligrams of caffeine, and that's what they're hitting. The main difference is, I think Prime as a brand is recognized among children, and children aren't really educated on caffeine sensitivity and what caffeine can do to you as a young adult. All they want to do is just keep drinking Prime like they're shield potions in Fortnite. Pop in a mini! Just make an absolute bag by suing Prime for false advertising because this is not actually a hydration beverage. It's the simplest science I've ever heard of, and it's glaringly obvious to me that they don't care whatsoever. Logan and KSI promote Prime as if it's some grassroots idea. Did they actually come up with it? That is the question.
People think we were picked to represent this product that already existed. Yo, y'all are dumb as hell. This is like a ground up from the basement operation.
Who came up with the name?
Me.
Do you remember the moment when it popped into your brain?
I think I remember thinking Prime is cool because you're in your prime, you're primed up, short, sweet. Prime, it sticks out. I drew the logo on a piece of paper. I said, can we get mock-ups using this logo? And they sent back the first one, and it was so good.
Now, if you take a look at the side of the bottle, there's an address for Louisville, Kentucky. It's where Prime is manufactured and actually based. And if you do a little bit more research, you can find out that it's owned by Congo Brands. What is Congo Brands? Surely it's the joint venture between Logan Paul and KSI, right? Logan's going to take the American audience, KSI is going to take the UK audience, and they came up with this clever name based out of Louisville, Kentucky, right? No. You see, Congo Brands is actually owned by two individuals, Max Clemens and Trey Steiger. Who the f*** are Max Clemens and Trey Steiger? That's a great question, and when I found out, my third eye started glowing with the force of 1,000 suns. They also run 3D Energy, Christian Guzman's beverage company. Now there's two possible scenarios, except one is more predatory than the other. Logan Paul came up with the idea for Prime and approached two entrepreneurs in the space, Max and Trey. And they said, why don't we do business together because you guys know how to actually distribute beverages on a large scale. Number two, Max and Trey approached Logan Paul and KSI and said, I know how to make us all a metric ton of money. Perhaps the largest influencers in different niches like Christian and Logan Paul approach Max, and Trey when they want to make a product. That's possible. Maybe these two are just at the top of the food chain or are the only ones doing it. What I think actually happened is Max Clemens and Trey Steiger, whoever they are, have a very acute sense of detail when it comes to openings within the market space of the beverage world. They saw this whole thing with electrolytes, don't actually know the science behind it, and said, you know what, why don't we get the two biggest faces on social media to promote this product, and we will have a global brand that can be acquired for billions of dollars, which would explain why Logan Paul promotes this product, which he probably knows is a bunch of bullshit in a bottle. My theory is that Logan and KSI have market shares of the company, but not enough to sway the creative control of the brand, meaning they are not involved in the formulation. They just have to promote it. Instead of wasting your money on Prime, sign up to the Third Eye Global Patreon. You'll get access to our member-only private Discord, as well as access to every video early.